Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video you are going to learn relationships in database, their types, benefits with examples. And contents of this video is based on my learnings, professional experience and a lot of research. After watching this video you will feel comfortable with these keywords. The relationships, their types and other stuffs as well. So without any delay, let's get started. So here you can see points to cover. List of points I have taken over here and we are going to discuss each one individually. So the first is, what is relationship of a database? Few important points related to relationships. Why relationship is important for a database? Types of relationship of a database. Complete details of types of relationship with examples. We are going to discuss with examples. One-to-one relationships, one-to-one relationships, end-to-end relationships with examples, and at last summary with a story. Going forward, so the first topic is relationships in database, what it is. So a relationship in the context of databases is a situation that exists between two relational database tables when one table has a foreign key that references the primary key of the other table. Relationships allow relational database to split and store data in different tables while linking elements of data items. It performs the data integrity part of a database and also improvement and also improve the performance. So relationships means we are talking about RDBMS the database management system, which is based on some relational model. That's where from there we this relationships has come into picture. So the next point is, why relationships important. Few points I have listed over here, we can see one by one. It establishes a connection between pair of tables that are logically related to each other. It helps to further refine table structure and minimize the redundant data. We are talking about normalization. These refinements will make structure more efficient and logically linked. Right. The next point is, it is a mechanism that enables you to draw data from multiple tables simultaneously, which are logically linked to each other. Next point is relationship. Level integrity is very important component of overall data integrity. So properly defined relationship is reliable and sound because it defines the level integrity at relationship level. Okay. The next is a few points on relationship. So today's world is a connected world, as we are aware of that. So database becomes more powerful by linking the data logically using relationships, right? The next is, relationships empower the database structure for the business to set new targets and goals. Next point is, to be able to identify the relationships, you need to examine the data and have an understanding of what business rules apply to the data and tables, right? That's where you are going to identify the relationships and their types, and you can make it useful for the business. Going forward, the next topic is type of relationships in database. Three types of relationships we use to link tables logically in database. The first is one-to-one relationships. One-to-one relationships. One-to-many relationships. The next is many-to-many relationships. Right. The next is few important points about type of relationships. So we have three types, and each one individually we are going to see. The first is one-to-one relationship. Few points I have taken only, and later on we will discuss each individually with examples. So regarding the one-to-one relationship, first is, one table has similar kind of column or field linked with another table. One-to-one relationship is bidirectional. Either of the table can be primary table, right? We are talking about linking between two tables, and either of the table can be the primary table. That's why the one-to-one relationship is bidirectional. The next point is, each primary key relates to only one. Next is one-to-many relationship. First point is, one table has relationships with another table. that has primary key and foreign key relations, between two tables. One-to-one relationship is not bidirectional. One can be primary table and other can be secondary table. We will discuss this. We will see later with examples. It is the most common type of relationship found between tables in relational database. Most of the firms, most of the enterprises use this one-to-many relationship to design the database, link tables in the database. The next is many-to-many relationship. Each record in both the tables can relate to many number of records. 0, 1, 2, up to n. Most relational databases do not support this end-to-end relationship. These are the points regarding the type of relationship. Okay, so going forward. Okay, so here you can see, the topic we have to discuss, and that is the complete details of relationships with examples. Okay, so first we are going to discuss about one-to-one relationships. So you can see two tables I have taken, right? Let's suppose we have two tables, and which I have taken. The first is the personal table and the second is payroll tables. So the personal table contains information of employees based on their employee ID, right? Definitely each record would be the unique, because one employee cannot have two employee ID. It's obvious, right? The second table is payroll table. So it contains the information of pay rate, the salary of employees based on their employee ID. So this has also the unique records. So if you see these two tables, so you can understand. You can see each record in personal table relates to only one table. Only one record in payroll table, and each record in payroll table relates to only one record in personal table. That's why you can understand it is bidirectional, and either of the table we can take it as a primary table, right? One-to-one relationship. In one-to-one relationships, either of the table we can take it as a parent table or the primary table, right? Going forward, the next is one-to-n relationships. So here again, let's suppose we have two tables we have taken. The first is the customer, and second is the orders. Now, customer table, it contains personal information of each customers uniquely based on customer ID. We can see over it. It is obvious that each customer will have only one or the unique customer ID, right? So customer tables, we can see here the four fields I have taken: the customer ID, customer name, address, and city, right? The second is order tables. So this table contains information of orders taken by customers based on their customer ID. So we can see and we can understand over here that each customer can have 0 records, 1 record, 2 records, more than that, right, based on their customer ID. So to summarize this, we can say, or we can see here, that each record in customer table can relate to many records in order table, but many records in order table can relate to only one record in customer table. So it is not bidirectional. We have to take the first one as a primary table and the second one is as a secondary table, right? That's why it defines the one-to-many relationships, right? And as we have also seen that one-to-many relationship is the most common relationship found between tables in a relational database. Most of the enterprises uses this design, this technique. Okay. The next is end-to-end relationships. So here again we have taken two tables. The first is employee and the second is projects. So the employee table contains information of employees based on their customer ID, project ID, right? And the project tables contains information of projects based on project ID and employee ID. We can see over here. So clearly we can see that more than one employee can be grouped into one project, right? More than one people can work on one project, and one employee can work on more projects as well, right? So many records in employee tables can relate to many records in projects table, and many records in project tables can relate to many records in employee table. We can see over here, by watching this table you can see, many records from employee table to the many records of projects, and from the many records of project table to the many records of employee table. That's why this relationship, we can call it as many to many relationship, right? Next important thing is to discuss normalization of database, their types and structures, but this is a very big topic, so we will discuss this in next video. Now the time is the summary with the story. So we can say and we can understand why relationship of a database is important. I mean, if we summarize this, so relationships help to further refine table structure and minimize redundant data. Redundant data means we are talking about duplicacy of data, right? So as you establish a relationship between a pair of tables, you will make minor modifications to the table structures, and these refinements will make the structure more efficient and minimize any redundant data, right? It will it will reduce the redundancies of data in a database, right, that table may contain. So it will increase the integrity level of database. So this is what I have gathered over here to understand the relationships and their types. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you really like the content of this video. Thank you.